just stepped outside the home. Imagine a life where the pavement becomes your mattress, the dumpster your pantry, and each passing moment feels like a struggle against hopelessness. In Pennsylvania, this is the harsh reality for countless individuals trapped by homelessness, substance abuse, and neglected mental health challenges. Their experiences are not just mere numbers, they are a chilling testament to a system that has failed its most fragile members. This is the untold story behind the surging crisis of homelessness. It's more dire than you can imagine. Welcome Globe Path, where we uncover stories that matter, untold truths, and the hidden realities shaping our world. Today, we journey into a site of Pennsylvania that few dare to explore, a growing homelessness crisis that speaks to human resilience, but also reveals the struggles of addiction, untreated mental health issues, and survival on the streets. This is more than a documentary. It's an eye-opening path of discovery into lives often overlooked. If you want to continue exploring such impactful stories with us, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Discovery Path. Your support helps us bring more stories to light, daily life of the homeless in Pennsylvania. On any given night, over 14,000 individuals in Pennsylvania face the harsh reality of homelessness. Their lives are marked by constant struggles for survival with no permanent shelter to call home. Many sleep on footpaths, under bridges, or in makeshift shelters constructed from cardboard tarpaulin or discarded materials. These fragile structures offer little protection against the elements, leaving them vulnerable to extreme weather conditions, from freezing winters to scorching. Summer's hunger is a relentless challenge, with limited access to food. Many homeless individuals resort to scavenging through dumpsters, behind restaurants and grocery stores, hoping to find discarded scraps. This form of survival is not only physically taxing, but also emotionally degrading, as they are forced to rely on waste to sustain themselves. Food insecurity is a daily battle, and the lack of proper nutrition further exacerbates their health issues. Access to hygiene and sanitation is another uphill struggle. Public restrooms, often miles away, become their only option for basic hygiene for those unable to reach these facilities. The lack of access forces them to make do in open spaces, leading to further indignity and health risks. The absence of clean water and sanitation facilities contributes to the spread of diseases and worsens their living conditions beyond the physical challenges the homeless population faces. Societal indifference and stigma. Each passing day chips away at their dignity, as they are often ignored or judged by those around them. This isolation and lack of support create a cycle of despair, making it increasingly difficult for them to escape their circumstances. The daily life of the homeless in Pennsylvania is a stark reminder of the urgent need for systemic change and compassionate intervention. Their struggles highlight the importance of addressing the root causes of homelessness and providing resources to help them rebuild their lives. Drug addiction among the homeless in Pennsylvania, substance abuse, is both a cause and a consequence of homelessness, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. In Pennsylvania, nearly 26% of the homeless population struggles with drug addiction, a statistic that underscores the severity of this crisis. For many, addiction begins as a coping mechanism, a way to numb the pain of living on the streets, escape the harsh realities of homelessness, or deal with untreated mental health issues. However, this temporary relief often spirals into dependency, further entrenching individuals in their circumstances. Opioids and methamphetamine opioids, including heroin and fentanyl, are among the most commonly abused substances within the homeless community. The opioid crisis has hit Pennsylvania particularly hard, with areas like Kensington and Philadelphia becoming infamous for their open-air drug markets. Here, AD is not just prevalent. It is visible with individuals openly using substances in public spaces. Methamphetamine use is also alarmingly common, offering a cheap and potent high that many turn to in moments of desperation. The cycle of addiction and homelessness. Addiction often leads to homelessness, as individuals struggling with substance abuse may lose their jobs, exhaust their financial resources, or become estranged from their fames. Conversely, homelessness exacerbates addiction as the stress, isolation, and lack of support drive many to seek solace in drugs or alcohol. This cycle is further perpetuated by the lack of access to treatment facilities. Affordable health, care and rehabilitation programs. Health and safety risks. The health risks associated with substance abuse are compounded for homeless individuals. Sharing needles increases the risk of diseases like HIV and hepatitis, while overdoses are tragically common due to the unregulated nature of street drugs. Homeless individuals are also 9 times more likely to die from an opioid overdose compared to the general population. The lack of stable housing and medical care makes recovery even more challenging, leaving many trapped in a dangerous and destructive pattern. Community impact. The prevalence of drug addiction among the homeless population has far-reaching effects on communities. Public spaces, such as parks and sidewalks, often become sites of drug use, leading to safety concerns and stigmatization of the homeless. Efforts to address this issue require a delicate balance of compassion and enforcement, as well as significant investment in resources and support systems. Addressing the crisis, organizations and initiatives across Pennsylvania are working to combat this crisis. Programs focused on harm reduction, such as needle exchange services and overdose prevention education, aim to reduce the immediate risks associated with drug use. Long-term solutions, including access to affordable housing, mental health services, and comprehensive addiction treatment, are essential to breaking the cycle of homelessness and substance abuse. Mental health crisis among the homeless in Pennsylvania. Mental health issues represent a silent epidemic within Pennsylvania's homeless population, deeply intertwined with the challenges of homelessness itself. Over 30% of the homeless population in the state suffers from severe mental health conditions, including depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and untreated psychosis. These conditions are both a cause and a consequence of homelessness, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. The struggles of mental illness. For many individuals, mental health challenges begin long before they lose their homes. Traumatic life events, such as abuse, DOMS, violence, or the loss of a loved one, often trigger or exacerbate these conditions without access to adequate mental health care. These individuals are left to cope on their own, which can lead to job loss, strained relationships, and eventually homelessness. Once on the streets, the stress of survival, exposure to violence, and lack of stability further deteriorate. Their mental health barriers to treatment, access to mental health care, remains a significant challenge for the homeless population. Many lack health insurance or the financial means to afford therapy or medication. Public mental health services are often overwhelmed with long waiting lists and limited resources. Additionally, the stigma surrounding mental illness discourages many from seeking help, leaving their conditions untreated and worsening over time. The impact of isolation. Homeless individuals with mental health issues often face social isolation, as their conditions can make it difficult to form or maintain relationships. This isolation is compounded by societal stigma, which views homelessness and mental illness through a lens of judgment rather than compassion. As a result, many feel invisible and abandoned, further deepening their sense of despair. The need for comprehensive solutions. Addressing the mental health crisis among the homeless requires a multifaceted approach. This includes increasing funding for mental health services, expanding access to affordable housing, and providing integrated care that addresses both mental health and homelessness simultaneously. Community-based programs such as mobile crisis units and outreach teams have shown promise in reaching those who are most vulnerable. The mental health crisis among Pennsylvania's homeless population is a stark reminder of the urgent need for systemic change. By addressing the root causes and providing compassionate care, we can help break the cycle and restore hope to those who need it most. Root causes and systemic issues of homelessness in Pennsylvania. The homelessness crisis in Pennsylvania is deeply rooted in systemic challenges that have developed over decades. This issue is not merely the result of individual circumstances, but a combination of economic, social, and policy-related factors that have left thousands vulnerable. Rising housing costs. The cost of housing in Pennsylvania has steadily increased, outpacing wage growth. For many residents, affordable housing options are scarce, and rental prices in urban areas like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh have surged for low-income families and individuals. This means spending a significant portion of their income on rent, leaving little for other necessities when unexpected expenses arise, such as medical bills or job loss. Many find themselves unable to keep up with payments, ultimately leading to eviction and homelessness, stagnant way, and economic instability. While housing costs have risen, wages for many workers have remained stagnant. This disparity has widened the gap between income and living expenses, pushing more people into financial instability. The economic fallout from events like the COVID-19 pandemic further exacerbated this issue with job losses and reduced work hours, leaving many unable to afford basic needs. Lack of affordable health care costs in the United States, including Pennsylvania, are among the highest in the world. For those living paycheck to paycheck, a medical emergency can quickly deplete savings and lead to financial ruin. The lack of affordable health care also means that many individuals with chronic illnesses or disabilities are unable to access the treatment they need, further complicating their ability to maintain stable housing. Insufficient support systems. Despite efforts to address homelessness, such as the $6 million Emergency Solutions grants issued in 2025, the demand for resources far exceeds the supply. Shelters are often overcrowded, and funding for programs aimed at preventing homelessness is limited. Additionally, systemic barriers such as bureaucratic red tape and eligibility requirements prevent many from accessing the help they need. Systemic inequalities. Structural inequalities, including racial and socioeconomic disparities, play a significant role, and homelessness. Marginalized communities are disproportionately affected, facing higher rates of poverty and unemployment. These systemic issues create additional hurdles for individuals trying to escape homelessness. The need for comprehensive solutions. Addressing the root causes of homelessness requires a multifaceted approach. This includes increasing funding for affordable housing, implementing policies to raise wages, expanding access to health care, and improving the efficiency of support systems. Without systemic change, the cycle of homelessness will continue to persist. The homelessness crisis in Pennsylvania is a stark reminder of the urgent need for collective action and policy reform. By addressing these root causes, we can work towards creating a society where everyone has access to stable housing and the opportunity to thrive. Hope and solutions for homelessness in Pennsylvania. Amidst the growing homelessness crisis in Pennsylvania, there are glimmers of hope as individuals, organizations, and communities come together to make a difference. These efforts, though not yet sufficient to address the full scale of the problem, are vital steps toward creating meaningful change. Organizations making an impact, nonprofit Organizations like Project H have been at the forefront of combating homelessness in Pennsylvania. They provide essential services such as food, shelter, and health care to those in need. Project H also focuses on long-term solutions by offering affordable housing and job training programs, helping individuals rebuild their lives and regain independence. Community volunteers and grassroots movements across the state community. Volunteers are stepping up to support the homeless population, from distributing meals to organizing clothing. Drives these grassroots efforts play a crucial role in addressing immediate needs. Local churches, schools, and neighborhood groups are also contributing by creating safe spaces and offering resources for those experiencing homelessness, job training, and employment programs. Initiatives aimed at providing job training and employment opportunities are helping individuals transition out of homelessness programs. Like these, equip participants with skills that increase their employability, enabling them to secure stable jobs and achieve financial independence. These efforts not only benefit individuals, but also strengthen the local economy. Addiction recovery centers, given the strong link between homelessness and substance abuse. Addiction recovery centers are an essential part of the solution. These centers offer counseling, rehabilitation, and support services to help individuals overcome addiction and regain control of their lives by addressing the root causes of homelessness. These programs contribute to breaking the cycle of despair, advocacy, and policy change. Awareness and advocacy are critical in driving systemic change efforts to raise public awareness about homelessness, help reduce stigma, and encourage community support on a policy level. Initiatives like the $6 million Emergency Solutions Grants issued in 2025 are providing much-needed funding to shelters and support programs. However, sustained advocacy is needed to push for comprehensive housing policies, increased funding for mental health services, and expanded access to affordable health care. The role of collective action. While these efforts are making a difference, the scale of the problem requires collective action. Collaboration between government agencies, nonprofits, businesses, and individuals is essential to create lasting solutions. By working together, we can address the root causes of homelessness and build a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. The homelessness crisis in Pennsylvania is a glaring reminder of the challenges we face. As a society, challenges that transcend state lines and touch the very core of our humanity. The individual UAL living without shelter are not faceless statistics. They are people with aspirations, stories, and resilience that deserve recognition and respect. Now is the time to stand together and take meaningful action. Let's demand comprehensive policies that address housing, affordability, mental health care, and addiction recovery. Let's amplify the efforts of local organizations and volunteers who are working tirelessly to provide food, shelter, and hope. And, most importantly, let's extend compassion to those who need it most. This is not just about Pennsylvania. It's about the kind of world we want to build, one where dignity and opportunity are within reach, for all the time to act is today. Before the situation worsens and more lives are affected together, we can be the change that makes a difference.